Welcome to the Money Tips No One Told You podcast. I'm Heather with First Pioneers Federal Credit Union, and I'll be your host. At First Pioneers, we're dedicated to caring for our members' financial needs with heart, and that means providing more than just financial services. It's about empowering you to take control of your financial destiny through knowledge and understanding. This podcast is all about guiding our listeners toward a brighter financial future. So get ready to embark on a journey towards financial well-being, because at First Pioneers, we believe that when our members are financially successful, we all succeed. Stay tuned for a wealth of knowledge and inspiration. Oh my goodness, the end of the year is truly upon us. Y'all, at the time that this is airing, we are actually just days away from December. Cannot believe we are already at the end of the year. And it certainly felt like it was the right time to talk about your end of year financial checklist. Now's the perfect time to make sure your finances are in tip-top shape before the clock strikes midnight on December 31st. So whether you're looking to save on taxes or maybe maximize your savings or set yourself up for a successful 2025, we've got you covered. Let's get into it. So first up on your end of year financial checklist, let's review those goals you set way back at the beginning of 2024. Do you remember them? You know, whether you set big, audacious goals or maybe you kept it simple. No matter what, it's time to check in. So what did you do? Did you plan to pay down your debt? Or are you planning to build an emergency fund? Or maybe start saving for that dream vacation or even a new home? Whatever it was, let's take stock. Okay, so you want to ask yourself these questions. Did you achieve the financial goals you set? And if not, can you look at why? Maybe there were obstacles that you faced. Are there things you can overcome in the next few months and still try to reach those goals? Were there smaller wins that you can celebrate? Even if you didn't reach the finish line of what your goal was, still look back and see what you were able to accomplish. Because even small wins are wins, so make sure you celebrate those. Now, if you're a very organized person and you're very diligent about tracking your progress throughout the year, then, you know, that part may be a breeze. But if you haven't, if you're not so much of a tracker and organized person, no worries, it's not too late. Maybe set aside some time, you know, in the next week or so to sort of gather up all your financial statements. You want your checking accounts, savings accounts, credit card bills, loans. Gather all that up and let's take a look at where you stand, because knowing where you are now is the key to creating a realistic action plan for next year. Now, a quick tip. If you've fallen short of a savings goal, consider automating maybe a little bit larger portion of your paycheck into a savings account if you can. But remember this, even a small change can make a big difference by the end of the year. Some people will say it as, can you make a 1% change today? And 1% change doesn't seem like a lot. But if you make a 1% change every day, starts to add up, doesn't it? So even small changes can make a big difference. So next on our financial checklist is to look at your taxes. I know, it's not the most exciting topic, but a quick tax checkup before the year end can save you a lot of money come April. So here are a few key things you may want to think about. Look at your retirement contributions. Have you maxed out your 401k or your IRA, whichever you're using? So look at your 2024. Your maximum you can contribute to a 401k is going to be $23,000 if you're under 50. If you're 50 or older, that goes up to $30,500 because you can do what's called catch-up contributions. Now, for an IRA, the limit is $7,000 if you're under 50, and it's $8,000 if you're 50 or older. Again, catch-up contributions to think there. So, contributing more to these accounts, of course, it's not only going to boost your retirement savings, but it can reduce your taxable income a bit. So, something to look at. Next, you want to look at your charitable donations. We talked about that the last episode if you want to go check that out. But did you know that any charitable donations that you make by December 31st are eligible for a tax deduction? Right. Even smaller donations can actually add up. And if you itemize your deductions on your return, this could be a great way to lower your tax bill while you're also giving back. So make sure if you are doing giving, keep those receipts because you want to have proof of those donations for when you file your return. And lastly, talking about taxes, look at your FSA spending. A lot of you guys have what's called a flexible spending account with your employer, and that's going to be for health care or for dependent care. Now is the time to check that balance, okay? Because you want to remember, FSAs are typically kind of a use it or lose it thing, okay? So that means if you don't spend the money by year's end, it could disappear, okay? Now, often you have a grace period or kind of maybe the ability to roll it over, or at least a small amount, into next year. But check with your provider and just make sure where you are with that, okay? Because you don't want to lose out on any of those pre-tax dollars. So if you're not sure, ask your HR people and see what's going on there. Now, as always, it's a good idea to consult with a tax professional, especially if your financial situation is a bit more complex. Let's say you have a lot going on, but making sure that you've taken advantage of every deduction and contribution opportunity before December 31st can actually save you quite a bit. So make sure you talk to the people that do your taxes, your advisors, and see what you might be able to do before tax season gets here. Okay, let's talk about investments for a minute. This overlaps just a little bit, but when it comes to investments, one really smart year-end move is to increase your contributions to your investment accounts. That's if you're in a position to do that. So let's say you've had a really good year financially. You might want to funnel some of that extra money into tax advantaged accounts like your 401k or your IRA or even an HSA, which is a health savings account. It's a little bit different than the FSA we mentioned a minute ago. So for example, let's say you have a 401k. There are a lot of employers that will actually match your contribution. So take a look and make sure that you're basically maxing out that contribution. You want to take full advantage of that free money. And, now's the time to do that. And if you can, maybe boost your contribution. I know I said 1% a minute ago, but if you could boost it by just 1%, that could actually make a huge difference over time. Because, we have compounding growth, right? Compounding interest. So it's something to really think about. Next, let's talk about IRAs for a second. Now, this depends on your income and your eligibility, but these accounts can offer some great tax advantages. And that's either by reducing your taxable income today, and that's with using a traditional IRA, or it could offer you tax-free withdrawals at retirement with a Roth IRA, because with a Roth, you're going to pay the taxes now. So then when you withdraw it at retirement, you won't have to pay taxes on it. So if you have extra money that you're wanting to increase those contributions, IRAs are a great way to do that. Then the HSA, we'll come back to that now. That's the health savings plan. Let's say you have a high deductible health plan contributing to an HSA. Well, that's really a triple win because you get a tax deduction for the contribution. Okay. The money is growing tax-free, and then the withdrawals are qualified or for qualified medical expenses are tax-free as well. Triple win. Yay. So even a little bump in those contributions before December 31st can really help you grow your nest egg, and it can give you a little extra tax break when it comes time to file. But the key is consistency, right? Small increases each year can actually build significant wealth over time. So again, just a small move of the needle can really make a big difference. Now let's move on to a critical piece of your financial puzzle, and that's debt and credit. So with interest rates fluctuating, it's more important than ever to stay on top of your debt strategy. So I have a few things for you to do before the year wraps up. 1, check your credit report. We've said this before. You're entitled to one free credit report from each of the major credit bureaus. That's Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. But you're entitled to a free report from them every 12 months. So head on over to annualcreditreport.com and pull yours. And what this is going to help you do is you can spot any errors. You could see if there's been any fraud, and if maybe there's some areas for improvement. And you can start to get those cleared up, or just create a plan to get those cleared up. But it's important to know that there's something there that you need to work on. So go check your credit report. Next, you want to pay off your high interest debt. So if you have any credit card balances or loans with high interest rates, you want to try to pay those down as much as you can before the year ends. Even in one extra payment can help reduce the interest that you'll pay over time. And of course, getting rid of debt is one of the biggest gifts you can give yourself going into 2025, right? Next, consider consolidating or refinancing. If you're dealing with multiple debts or high interest rates, you could consider consolidating those debts or perhaps refinancing something that's got a high interest rate. Again, that could make a big difference, even 1 percentage point. You'd be surprised how much difference that can make. So, come talk to us at the credit union about your options. See if it fits or if it's a good idea for your situation. But even if it's not that, there may be an option that we could find that could help you save money over time. But keeping your debt in check now means less stress as you head into the new year. Finally, let's take a moment to look forward. The end of the year isn't just about tying up loose ends from 2024. It's also about setting yourself up for success in 2025. So here are some questions I want you to ask yourself as you prepare for the new year. What are your big financial goals for 2025? Do you want to save more, invest more? Maybe you want to pay off a significant chunk of debt. Or is there a major life event coming up, maybe like a wedding or a new baby or buying a home? If so, how can you plan your finances accordingly? So also, what's your plan for improving your financial education? Maybe you want to read more books. Maybe you want to listen to more podcasts like this one. Or maybe even meet with a financial advisor. Ask yourself some of these questions because it can help you start to sort of create that roadmap for your future and help you start to set clear financial goals now, so that it'll make it easier to create a plan of action once January rolls around. And of course, before we go, we have a bonus tip for today. And it's actually something I find that often gets overlooked. And that's review your insurance coverage. Because, as your life has changed throughout the year, maybe your insurance needs did as well. And of course, this is a great time to make sure that you're still adequately covered. And that can be really any of your insurance. Okay, health insurance, auto insurance, home insurance, even your life insurance. So let's run through those real quickly. So for health insurance, often open enrollment is happening at this time of year. So double check your health plan to make sure that it's still meeting your needs. Were there any changes in your medical needs? What about members of your family? Maybe they require a different plan, maybe more comprehensive coverage. So take a look and make sure that if there are any changes necessary that you take care of those. Now, for your home and auto insurance, look for any discounts you might qualify for and make sure that your coverage is actually a match for the current value of your property or your car. Have you done some renovations? That'll change the value of your home. Maybe you bought a new vehicle this year. So you want to make sure that your policies are up to date. And then finally, for your life insurance, has your family situation changed at all? Maybe you got married, maybe you had a child, bought a home, something like that. Now is definitely the time to take a look at your life insurance policy. You just want to make sure that your loved ones are protected. And by making sure that you're properly insured, you're not only protecting your financial future, but you're also giving yourself that peace of mind as you head into the new year. It's just one more way to wrap up 2024 feeling really secure and prepared. And that's it. That's a wrap on our end of the year financial checklist. I hope today's episode gave you some practical tips and tools to help you finish this year strong and head into 2025 feeling really confident about your finances. But remember, you don't have to tackle all of this at once, all right? Just take it one step at a time and work your way through it. And as always, we're here to help. Whether you have questions about your accounts, maybe you need help with a loan, or maybe, you just need a hand setting up that new budget for 2025. We're just a phone call away or a visit away. And hey, if you found today's episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe and rate and share it with a friend that might need to hear this news as well. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. That wraps up another episode of Money Tips No One Told You. We hope you enjoyed the insights and tips shared today. If you have any questions, thoughts, or topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes, feel free to reach out. If you found value in today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback helps us tailor future content to better serve you. There are several ways you can find us if you need further information or need to speak with a financial counselor. Visit us in person in Lafayette or New Iberia, Louisiana, or at firstpioneers.com to find out how to become a member of our family and find other financial information. Also, be sure and check out the show notes for important links and important information. Your financial journey is important to us, and we're here to support you every step of the way. We hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time.